JamiaTV, Beacon for the Nation. This program is suitable for general viewing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. A very good evening to you this very evening of Thursday, and welcome to Live Real Talk Show. I am your host Zamzam Ahmed, and in studio I am joined by Jared Ocheng, who is the principal and managing director of Starehe Technical Training College. And mentioning Starehe Technical Training College means today tonight we are going to talk about skills. What do you know about skills, and why is it important for us to have or rather acquire skills in today's world? Good evening, Mwalimu.
Good evening, Zamzang.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Great to be here again.
It's really a pleasure having you here also, because it's been a while, and we thought maybe it's really an important invite. When we talk about skills, it was important for us to call you, because you are the principal and managing director of Starehe Technical Training College. Now, before we even go deep, sometimes people tend to have that confusion between skills and talents or hobbies. So as per you, what are the similarities, what are the differences between skills and talent?
Well, that's a very nice question, because it's important that everyone knows where to fall. What I can say is that hobby is like a linking between a talent and a skill. Maybe now we go to the main difference between skills and talents. When you talk about skills, we're talking about things that you learn, you acquire maybe through training. You can get into a classroom setup, you are taught. Probably by the time you are going there, you didn't know about it. You went there green, blank, you didn't know anything. But after some time staying in a classroom, in the presence of a trainer, you acquire them. That's why you use the word acquire, meaning you went without knowing. Then after you are trained, you now know. A talent, however, is an inborn. It is something that is inside you that you may not necessarily get into a classroom to get. And it's also unique. Maybe I can also pinpoint that skills are not unique. One skill can be performed by so many people exactly the same way, but a talent is very much unique, because what person A can do cannot be done by person B, or person A can do it in a totally different way from what B can do. And maybe I can give an example. Let's say you want to become a plumber. You are just from Form 4, or you're from class 8, you've never even been to a class where such things are trained. So you get to a college, you are trained, of course after some period, you come out of the college, a plumber now. You went in where you're not a plumber, but after training you are now a plumber. Then that's a skill. With the talents, we know that many people can sing, but you could possess a specific voice that nobody else has. It could be a shrilling voice, intertwined and coming up a very melodious one, so that any other singer in that group cannot manage to sing like you. We can also have an example like, you've seen these people who perform acrobats. I was once watching somebody who was snaking his feet on his neck, and anybody else could not do that. You've also seen people dance as if they have no bones. Those are specific talents, because they do specific things that not another person can do. Now when you talk about a hobby, unlike talent and skills, hobby must have the word interest attached. It must be something that you like. You know, when you talk about skills, it could be you are sent to go and acquire, maybe the parent has paid fees, it may not be your choice, but because the fees has been paid and have been told this thing is good for you, go get it, you may go there, not necessarily because you like it, but because you've been propelled to go and do it. With a talent, it could be inside you, but you're not practicing it. You only maybe practice it when there is an occasion or when you are called to do so. Okay. But when you talk about a hobby, it is inside you as an interest, and that's why even maybe when you are bored up, you want to have it as a leisure, then you do it as something that is inside you that you like doing so much so that it becomes your leisure. Okay. So those are the distinctive features of the three terms. Okay.
I know people will still be confused because there are other things that people tend to do, and it's like a hobby, it's like a talent they have, but it is something that brings them money. Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to that one. Now let's talk about skills. When we talk about acquiring skills and how important it is to our lives, so as per you, why is it important for us to acquire skills in today's world?
Well, that's so nice. That's a nice question. But let me first maybe bring this analogy so that we understand it so clearly, because this discussion is supposed to educate the general public. Yeah. When you talk about a skill, and we are trying to attach it to the importance that we get. Let's say you're in a meeting and everybody is speaking very well, very nice English, or let's even talk about a foreign language. Okay. Then you happen to be the only member inside that meeting who does not understand what may be going on. What happens? You tend to lose confidence. Definitely. You'll just be there, but you're not yourself. You have a feeling that these people have something that they know, but you don't know. Okay. So the first thing, when you acquire skills, the first most important thing is that you become very confident. Okay. Generally in life, I remember somebody was teasing me before I joined university. We would get into a gathering, then they would say, can I see university materials? Then the university materials would start speaking the experience in campus, how they were taught, how they missed classes. Okay. But I had not gone, so I was really floating. I was like, now, it seems I'm in a different world. And that's what you're comparing here. So when you talk about skills, you're talking about those who've got it. And when you happen to have been among those who got it, then you are very much confident. Number two, other than being confident, there are also chances that you become so much relieved and you settle. Okay. You settle because you have some sense of fulfillment. So that even the simple things that maybe you may not have known through skills, you now know. And you become very relaxed. And even people can depend on you for knowledge. You can imagine if you are a parent and maybe a child asks you, Daddy, how do we change the bulb? Okay. And you don't know about it, you're going to be much embarrassed. But just because you've acquired that and somebody has asked that, you are going to give that information to them very well, and through that they are learning from you. So that's another great importance that is attached to getting that skill. Okay. Now, when you talk about these skills, and you have mentioned at least knowing how to put a bulb, and also the different skills giving us the confidence in life. Now, as Starehe Technical College, what are the skills that a person can acquire? And also you can also mention of other skills that are outside, not just Starehe. Great. Well, the skills are very many, but maybe so that you understand them much better, I can discuss them in categories. Okay. And I want to narrow them to three categories, which I call the technical skills, the linguistic skills, and even the arts, those skills. Now, when you talk about the technical skills, one, they're also called hands-on skills, because you acquire them through what you see, then what you internalize in your mind, and also the hands. Okay. And we have very many courses that can train students into acquiring the skills. For example, when you talk about pastry or baking technology, this is where we have a simple flour and maybe a few ingredients here and there. But then you're learning how to bake, and after baking you come up with pastry products. It could be cakes, it could be donuts, it could be pizzas, sausages, and all that. And that is an example of a technical skill, because you've used your hands to do the actual baking, and through that somebody can see a very nice cake that has been decorated that can even be sold or can be consumed by people outside. We have courses like barista, and that is a very nice call because it's really gaining momentum in the job market today. I know that in Africa setup we take tea, others take coffee, but now barista comes to train people on how to make that coffee in a slightly different way. Yeah. So that it's not just the natural way we know of making coffee. Yeah. You are now taught professionally to make coffee in a cup and even decorate it. You can have some arts, what we call the art arts of your choice. It can be a tulip, it can be a rosetta, or any other decoration that you want. Now, when you serve that to your guests, or when you decide to take it on your own, there's a sense of pleasure that comes with it, a sense of prestige. It's a more official setup. So when we train students on that, they easily get absorbed in the job market, and they turn that skill, because now performance of that art is not done by everybody. You have to be trained. So when you're getting trained to do that, then you can now turn it into your livelihood or source of livelihood. There are also many other courses like food service. You know, setting up a table is done professionally. When you get into big restaurants and hotels, you don't set a table there, you do it at home. There's a way you have to set the table mats and all that, and even the service alone is done professionally. So it's a skill that you're getting. And there are so many other examples of technical skills, including electrical wiring, mechanical engineering, any other course that you can perform and practice it using your hand is a technical skill. Then when we talk about the arts, the arts are also skills, more of involving creativity. I'm sure you've seen people come up with exact portraits of other people. Somebody can come and make your own face in a drawing, then sells, you know, or even the house decoration, the setup of a living room and things like that cannot be done by another person, but you can be trained and you become extremely good in it so that you do it very well. I also feel that even linguistic aspect of it can be a skill, and all these examples that I'm mentioning are trained at Starehe Technical Training College. Now the linguistic part of it, let's mention maybe things like sign language. You need Kenya Sign Language interpreters. Very few can do that. So by virtue that you go learn it and you now know it, of course it becomes a skill that you can now depend on later on, including any other language, like Chinese. If you are to be served in a Chinese restaurant and you don't speak Chinese, you'll find life difficult there in terms of communication. But just by grasping that linguistic aspect of it makes you fit so much in the society with different communities, so that you don't feel left out in particular fora. You get that? So when we talk about these skills, there are three categories, be it technical, be it linguistic, or arts part of it. They are very much important to the society today.
Now let's talk about these skills, the three categorized. You have the linguistics, we have the technical, and we have the arts. And earlier on I asked about the importance of skills in current life. Now, how are these skills going to help us in our lives in terms of job creation, in terms of personal development?
Good. Well, let me start with the personal part of it. I don't understand why somebody can train barista to serve other people. You first serve yourself, so that because you can brew coffee in your own house, from your own kitchen, before you go for work, make yourself a nice coffee that is decorated. Then you go to work, maybe you're working in an hotel, you can now serve other people. So there's that self-service, which brings personal satisfaction through skills that you've done your own. And even the fashion designers, you make yourself a suit or a dress or whichever any other linen that you may prefer. And then you can now make other people. And examples are many. Pastry, you make yourself donuts, cakes, you serve yourself breakfast in the morning. Or even when you have guests, instead of hiring other people to come and offer the catering services, and you happen to be much conversant with those areas, you simply serve yourself. And any other course that you may think of, it is possible to do it on your own, including roofing technology. There's a roof that is leaking, or there's some place in the house that requires renovation, and you've done masonry and related building technology courses. Why would you call somebody to do it when you have time and you can do it? So you can see that's what I'm talking about, because it is possible that the skills can be used personally or individually so that they benefit you. Now, also in the job market, the skills can easily be turned into a source of livelihood where you now sell them. These include even services, even barbers, those who make our hair. Okay, that's a service. You do that, somebody gives you money. So we can use skills whether for personal development or for commercial use. They are very much relevant in the society.
Now, because today we are talking about skill training beyond distance, we tend to have students or people who would like to acquire these skills but are unable to acquire because of the distance, because they come from remote areas. So what challenges are these students from remote areas facing in accessing skill training?
Well, there are many challenges, the leading one being poverty. Because with insufficient finance, even the basic necessities become a challenge, including phones. Nowadays you can get very many information through your phone or even a tablet or a computer. But if you cannot afford that, already you've hit a snag immediately. But I'm very happy that generally the population that is accessing digital means is much higher. Like, talk about phones, almost everybody has a phone today. And there's another challenge of the remoteness of a place. Not necessarily that they cannot be reached, but because being remote can also pose challenges like network issues. You could be in an area, like the other day I was talking to a friend and she was really struggling, and I was also really struggling to hear her, and the issue was network. We've seen some years back when somebody had to climb a tree to make a phone call. So you can imagine that this somebody who really wants to get skills, maybe virtually, but not the accessibility is a problem. Then we have areas with very few learning institutions, and if you have to get education, you have to move quite a distance before you get to the first center where you can get a college and any other learning institution. So there's so many other challenges that our youth today get. But now that's the remoteness. Even in the urban setup, where we have everything, we have electricity, we have water, infrastructure, we still have challenges. And one of the challenges could be competitiveness of ones and even disruptions. In the house, you're supposed to get some skill, but you have your siblings around you, they're also scrambling for your time. Maybe you had been out there all day. So when you're supposed to settle, and again, they're your siblings, you can't just brush them off like that. So you end up foregoing what you could have done at the expense of their presence. You get that. So those are some challenges.
Now, when we talk about these challenges, I know most of the people would really want to know how they're going to curb these challenges they are facing. And I believe where there is a problem, there is always a solution to it. So I want us to take a short break, but when we come back, I want us to look into how best are we going to curb these problems, the challenges that students are facing in acquiring new skills, and also in the aspect of Starehe Technical Training College and other institutions that are somehow around or within your location, inshallah. Therefore, stay tuned for second segment of Live Real Talk Show.
JamiaTV, beacon for the nation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, munapoitwa kuhudhuria swala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu, hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu khutba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Live on
JamiaTV.
Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا.
Pearls of Wisdom.
Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Whatever I have commanded you, do it, and whatever I have forbidden you, refrain from it."
JamiaTV, beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much and welcome back to the second segment of Live Real Talk Show, and I'm still your host Zamzam Ahmed. Now we continue the conversation on acquiring skills and how important it is to us in the current situation, in the current life. Now we tend to face challenges in acquiring these skills, especially for those who come from a remote area. Now Mwalimu has mentioned that the challenges that people normally face in acquiring the skills, either one, they come from a remote area, accessing these skills is not easy because they are needed physically there, maybe to study. Other thing is a network issue, and not only for those who come from remote areas, but we also have those people who are in urban areas and living with their families. Now I want us to look into how best we can eradicate or curb these challenges that students are facing in acquiring these skills. Mwalimu, let's go on. Let's look at in the best, in the aspect of Starehe. How best is Starehe training, technical training college, helping or making learning easier for the students or the people who are in remote areas?
Great, Zamzam. Actually, we admit students nationally.
Okay.
All parts of the country, regardless of distance. And they don't have to necessarily come physically. And that's made possible by use of technology.
Okay.
Video conferencing, you can have virtual classes. From any part of the country, they simply get links to lessons. They log in at specific time in the presence of a trainer. And training continues. And there's even a virtual exam, which is supervised. And it is not possible to steal because they are supervised in a setup that even has cameras. You're not able to steal. So that is an online mode of study. And it's also very flexible because you don't have to study the whole day. You can go to work during the day and get online for classes in the evening. Or you can also work during weekday, then get to online classes over the weekend.
Okay.
And sometimes we even have the night classes, so that if you are working during the day and you take time on traffic, by the time you get home it is 8, then you can have classes at that 8 once you've settled, and so it is that flexible. So about the skills acquisition, there is no hindrance in terms of distance because that has been gapped by introducing technology. And in terms of cost, because maybe when I talk about use of technology, then many may be worried that can I really afford a computer with a webcam and all that. We have good phones nowadays with very good features that can allow online studies and even taking notes with the notepads that you take notes at the same time very perfectly. You just get into a portal and you get the learning materials there and learning continues. Then that's the virtual study.
Okay.
There's also one called distance learning. The difference between virtual study and distance learning is that with virtual it is a live class, a live real setup. Distance learning is whereby you depend on learning resources to be sent to you. You go through them with a bit of research, then you hook up with your trainer in terms of answering questions and sending back your feedback. So this could be in terms of notes, pamphlets, and links for further studies and researches. So all these are avenues. And when, for example, you've covered a topic and the trainer feels that the additional reading materials that should reach you, either they are scanned, then you download them. But remember, we talked about a challenge where we have an issue with the internet. So that's the perfect solution for those areas because the trainer is very sure that even if he makes the class live, you're not going to get each other. So what happens is that you are sent hard copies, learning materials, maybe as a parcel, and you get them. Then after that you go through them and you're able to also send back your feedback as a parcel, hard copy. It gets to the trainer and learning continues until the duration is over. About those who are very far, you know, again, not everybody will prefer online. It has its advantages and also the disadvantages. And I think one of the main disadvantage could be maybe social disruption. You are a mom, you have your children, you are in class, they may not know. They'll come, they want your attention. So you'll find that maybe by the time you're in class, your children all over making noise, shouting, and you can't keep them off. They are children anyway. So that those will prefer, because maybe I want just to concentrate, even if it is 1 month, then I come back for the online classes. I want a physical class. But again, you know, the main challenge in Nairobi and the surrounding towns is housing. Housing may not be affordable to everyone. So as a college, Starehe Technical Training College, we have made that no longer a challenge by providing hostels at a very reasonable price. In fact, we give them options. We are giving them options in a way that if somebody wants to stay in the hostel and take meals, breakfast, lunch, and supper, we have a price for them. Actually, 7,500. You can imagine in a month, you are given full meal, morning, breakfast, supper, 7,500. Then we also have those who may not prefer lunch. They just want breakfast and supper.
Okay.
So we have a price for them, 6,000.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have those who may not prefer meals. Maybe they have particular diet. Probably they're on diet, and they may not maybe prefer what the college is providing. But being basic enough, breakfast we provide, and we give them at 3,200.
So if I decide to take a hostel and without even taking any meals apart from the breakfast that you've mentioned, it is part and parcel of the initial thing. I pay 3,200
yes.
plus the hostel.
Everything inclusive.
So how is the situation in hostel? Because I've heard of hostels that you stay 2 in one room, others stay 4 in one room, others 6. So categories.
Well, we respect privacy and also we acknowledge social life. So we have various types of hostels. We have those that can be shared, especially for cost effectiveness. Because the price of sharing a room may not be when you stay in a room alone. So the special rooms are for those who don't want to share, but at a different pricing. Okay, at a different pricing. So those are also available. Then the general students are also given an option. If you don't want any meal, including breakfast, you just pay 2,000 for the night. You just come spend, then you sort
Is
yourself
it only
outside.
for the students, or anybody can come there? Because you're trying to give people that freedom. That is really, really amazing, because that is, I don't want to say small amount, but at least it's something
affordable.
Reasonable and affordable. Yeah, okay. What other things are there that Starehe is doing in order to make learning easier for the people that are in the remote areas, and also the people who cannot afford school fees, or maybe?
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, what we really want to do is to have learning as accessible as possible, and we really want to do things differently from the general mass or from the general public. In other words, we want to try to be as unique as possible.
Okay.
You'll agree with me that maybe you must have probably searched online to find out what Starehe does and maybe the difference between Starehe and any other institution. We are the only institution in Kenya and perhaps globally that provides 50% sponsorship to all students. Whether you come from the poor background or from the rich, every student is equal. So we are doing that intentionally so that we make learning, acquisition of these skills accessible. So those who are far and maybe are worried about where am I going to stay, you've just had the rates on the hostels. Then when it comes to the fees, the question is, okay, I've been provided with the housing. I'm now comfortable. I'm going to get a house. I'm going to have somewhere to stay and go to class from. But can I afford the fees? Apart from the 50% fees, and when you talk about technical courses, we don't charge more than 15,000 per term. And even the 15,000, that is after the sponsorship. Okay, so the part that the student pays is around 15 or below. Even this 15 and below that they pay, they can pay in bits.
In installments.
Because if a term goes for 3 months and somebody says, I would be paying per month 555, it's okay. To us, what matters is, can you acquire skills? Because when we are starting this discussion, we just saw how serious it is to get skills. That confidence in you, that ability to train another person, that ability to turn that into a source of income are things that we cannot ignore. So we feel and believe that by providing this education at a much lower rate, without compromising quality, we are simply educating the nation, and we are making learning and acquisition of skills more accessible than any time ever.
Okay. Something else is that it is maybe Starehe does that, and it is not like all other institutions or all other technical training colleges are doing the same. So perhaps, as per you, what do you think other technical training institutions can do to make learning easier for other people, for the students or anybody who want to acquire a skill?
Yeah, one challenge I've had clients really mention, because you see sometimes before they come to Starhe, they window shop and research, and then they find themselves in Starhe. The admission procedure in most institutions is very tedious.
Okay.
Even the documentation, the requirements, and it is outrageous. Okay. It is possible to have hidden charges. You go inquire, for example, you want to take a course, you are told you are going to pay this amount of fees. But when you report to an institution, you realize that, oh, you have to go much into your pocket, and you had not planned for that. We normally call them hidden charges. So you are not told, you just get them.
Unaenda kununua kitu somewhere. Wanatangaza ni maybe 200 or 100,
yes.
And then you're going to take that item. They say it is this amount. And like,
let me tell you,
what is happening?
There's a time I went down here in Gikomba. I wanted to move around and find any nice item I could, and then I got across some clothes at 100. They were saying 100, but
that
then
meant 200.
after picking so many pieces, because actually I wanted to give my friend somewhere, because I was like 100, and they would say that twice, 100. So I thought it was a way of shouting it out, people to hear the price. Then after picking like 5 or 6 pairs, then I was told, now you're going to pay 1,400. I was like, did you not say 100? So that can really disappoint, and it can make somebody change mind. Honestly, I didn't buy because it was a put off to me, and that's the same thing that happens in the general setup in terms of education. So I really wish that the general public can try to be as much transparent as possible for planning, so that before one plans, they know the exact expectation without getting there and getting disappointed. Yes.
Okay.
And even the cost, I think it's possible to also request the government to subsidize even to the private sectors. I understand that with the government institutions, we have payment mechanisms like bursaries and help accessible. But to make it more uniform, this could be extended to the private sector as a whole, because we have many learners who may not prefer public, they want private institutions for whatever reason. People have different inspirations that push them to enroll in private institutions. But because somebody has chosen a private institution out of own volition, without being compelled to do so, should not mean that they are now cut off from the subsidy from the government simply because of the choice of institution that they landed into. So I really have to feel and hope that for uniformity purposes, I really wish that we'd get into a country where a learner is supported regardless of where they land, whether they land in public or they land in private, even if the percentage is going to be different. Maybe you could have a particular percentage for the public, probably higher support than those in private, a little support, because not all private institutions are under support from the government. Yeah.
Okay. Earlier on, there is something you mentioned about people have different inspiration, and there are others who prefer physical learning, others who prefer online learning, and others who prefer the distance learning. Yeah, you mentioned that one. So these three categories are really different. Maybe someone would really want to know or would like to ask, if I choose online classes due to my own personal reasons, maybe I have a part-time job, maybe I also have a part-time work at home, I'm a mom, maybe I have a family to take care of. Now, me learning online, does it guarantee me the same opportunity a person who's learning in person?
Great for that. Well, now choosing to go online depends on the course you are taking. a language may honestly not require you physically.
Okay.
Because it's about more of audio, what you listen to. It can be a live online class. The pronunciation, the trainer can easily get that. The writing, you can easily write and submit. The listening, the speaking part of it.
Okay.
Because when you talk about languages like English, and by the way we train that, English for those who want to go to other countries, under IELTS, International English Language Testing System. Because today if you want to travel to British countries, you must be language proficient, and there must be proof that you are proficient in that language. So that's an example. So if you want to study such a thing, it is your choice now to either decide to come physically or do it online. But whether you choose physical or online, there's no effect. It is still 100% guaranteed that you're going to get quality, because it's all about the audio part of it and what we call the audio visuals, what you can see, what you can hear, and a bit of what you can say. But when you have courses, let's talk of like the one I mentioned when you are starting, like the barista, where you are supposed to perform a latte art on milk that has been steamed. You have to use your hand. Now, if you are doing that online, unless you have your own machine, you know, if you are going to be doing these online, unless now you have your machine, and that will be very expensive. Because for every course you decide to enroll in, for every training equipment that is in the college, you have to have your own. So that the trainer now says, can you go to part A, touch it, press part B, you press. Then that's okay, because you have your own equipment. But people go to colleges and learning institutions because of the equipment. We cannot have them in our house. And again, we cannot train ourselves even if we had them in our houses. To make learning quality, at Starehe, we normally insist that you can have a merger of the two, both online and physical. So that the theoretical part of it, the theory part, you do online. And that is possible. You just meet the contact hours, you do every part of the theory online. But now when it comes to the practical aspects, which is just a section of the curricula, you know, if the contact hour says 8 hours, maybe the practical hours could be 30 or maybe 40. So it's upon you now to create time, even if it is weekends or holidays when you've closed. If you're working in an institution that closes, then you make time and come for physical. And that is what we value in quality. So what you can really encourage is that nobody should sit home because they cannot come physically. They can start from somewhere. They enroll for a skills course, proceed with it online, and then for the parts that require practicals, they come to the college, make time and come and do them in the college.
Now when we talk about how important skills is to our lives, so can it contribute to the economy's growth?
Yes, definitely yes, because even those who acquire skills to employ themselves do not end up employing their own selves forever. Even if it is your business, you cannot be the only employee in your own business. There will be a messenger somewhere. There will be a cleaner somewhere. There will be a technical.
Multitask everything.
Yes, even if it is even if it is a service industry, there has to be somebody who is assisting you to fix something somewhere, and that is how an economy is created or supported, by creation of jobs through employment of other people. So that's the main. Or maybe you are taking the skill so that somebody can employ you. Of course, when you're working, there's a way you remit your taxes, and this money gets back to boost the economy.
Now, as we wind up because of time, perhaps, for someone who would want to join Starehe, maybe, how can they get you?
Well, okay, for now, we are available in 3 major towns. We are at Nairobi, KTD Farmers Building, 10th floor, opposite Kenya Cinema. We're in Thika Town, Kigio Plaza, 5th floor, Kwame Nkrumah Street. And we have an affiliate, College of Starehe, in Mlolongo, Mombasa Road, Merchant Arcade, 2nd floor. next to 3D Hotel. So anybody can visit us anytime, physically for inquiries, for admission, even for general guidance on what to pursue in life. But we're also very much present online. You simply search the name Starehe Technical Training College. It will pop out through LMIS system. There's a support system called LMIS. You're going to get every information you want in terms of fees, location, courses, and all that. But we also have phone numbers that are active. In fact, they're active 24 hours. Even if you call at midnight, there'll always be somebody working
to pick up
the phones. We have 011 3730 729, 011 3730 729. Then there is 0741 980 519. 0741 980 519. We also plan to have branches all over, so that those who may not find it easy to travel to the physical campuses can have the nearest. And it's our prayer that with the time we will be present in all the 47 counties, so that whoever is in Malindi simply gets at the coastal region. Somebody in Turkana will get Wajir, somebody in Kisumu, Kakamega. It's our prayer. But for now, we have the 3. And we also have the virtual, we have the distance, so learning is much easier.
I was about to ask about that one, in terms of extending or having different branches to make it easier for those people that would want not to travel to other counties. So that's it. And something that has really mesmerized me is when we acquire these skills, we're not just doing it to create job opportunities for ourselves and others, but also to make work easier for us at home, because at times we incur cost calling people to help us do something. Maybe something has happened in the kitchen, you need a plumber to fix things in your kitchen, you need someone to fix your electrical and everything about that one. So it will at least curb the cost, or rather reduce the cost that you always have to call other people to help you. And also in other areas apart from that one, he's talked about pastry, he's talked about barista, he's talked about decoration and everything. Therefore, it is your chance to acquire the skills, and it is very, very important. One last thing with a few words. How many skills should a person at least have? In numbers, just tell us in numbers.
Limitless. Even if you can get 10, so be it. Because the more you get, the more useful you become to both yourself and the society.
Mushaskia. Limitless. Do not limit yourself when you're acquiring skills. You can have even more than 10. And with that one, I think the message is home and dry. Until tomorrow for the Muslim Inside Show. I have been your host, and this was a live Real Talk Show. May you have a blessed night and a blessed weekend, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.